My message is superior. There's nothing on the whole internet that is this pure. First, let me talk about men and women as a foundation real quick. Number one, let me tell you something manly. To always outperform your woman. Say that again. Let me tell you something manly. To always outperform your woman. What you look like letting your woman outrun you. What you look like letting your woman outlift you. It don't look good, do it? So that's number one as a foundation. You got a woman, y'all go to the gym. Oh, she shouldn't be benching more than you benching. Y'all go to the running track. She shouldn't be running longer than you're running. She shouldn't be running faster than you're running. And if it just so happens you dating a girl who's a track star, damn it, you better become a track star. You heard me. You better leave it all on the field. That's number one. Number two, earning the respect of other men, the foundation of that is outperforming them. That's all there ever is. It's outperformance. It's discipline. It's doing what they can't do. That's all there ever is to it. It's being what you said you were or exceeding what people expected you to be. That's all there ever is. At the end of the day, it's the delivery of the goods that gets you paid. One of the key things I want you guys to hyper focus on as a man, and you'll see this has been a theme, is that no one will save you. I don't say this to be harsh or unpleasant, but I just say this to protect you. To protect your psyche, because if you're under the illusion that someone's going to come save you or just do you a favor out of nowhere, you're going to be expecting a Superman that never arrives. As a man, you got to know that it's pretty much a war and you're the only person on your side. You're the only ally that you have. If you look at the world through that lens, any help that you do get, you'll be thankful for, but you weren't counting on it. And so you'll basically be thinking of things as though you were an assassin. And snipers and assassins might work alone most of the time. A sniper, you might have a spotter, but generally you're working alone behind enemy lines. And that's kind of how you have to look at things, which is that, hey, I'm going to rely on me because I'm reliable. So that's a major step for you as a man. Become reliable and then trust yourself. The problem is that a lot of us as men are not reliable, and that's often something that bleeds into our relationships with others and with women. And that might cause us to have trouble in retaining women, because what are women looking for? Something they call security. Well, they can't have security in a guy who's not reliable. So that's a major foundational thing for you as a man, to give yourself peace, but also to give peace of mind to your woman and your potential family. Another thing to avoid, what I said earlier, is the appearances of women, of being a woman. And that's not only in the literal sense of, not wearing a bonnet like women wear bonnets, or, not plucking your eyebrows too thinly so as to appear like a woman, but it's also including things like dogs. You see that the female in our day is very sick, and in the absence of actually procreating and having children, which is her biological instinct, subconsciously, she feels the need to nurture a child. And instead, her being a low being, a female dog, if you know what I mean, she takes on the canine in the place of a human child and tries to nurture the dog, even putting it in human clothes and treating it like a child, and having the audacity to call herself a dog mom. Well, for you to be the mother of a dog, you'd have to be a dog now, wouldn't you? What a low way to live. As a male, you should never take on a dog as a companion. There has been some errant verbiage in the West that says a dog is a man's best friend. Well, shit. If a dog that is one of the lower animals, a canine, is your best friend, your ass is down bad. You need some real friends and some goddamn social skills if a dog's your best friend. So that's one of the things we recommend against, generally speaking. If you have to have a guard dog for a large property that you have, so be it. But generally speaking, we're not recommending that. One thing I also want to encourage you guys as men, and I always have a list. This list right here is called current challenges. Current challenges. Someone spoke of stress earlier. You often remove that. And mind you, do you ever hear me say I'm stressed? That's like almost never. I do not feel stressed. Most thing that might bother me is if I'm talking to someone else who's stressed, like a woman, and they're complaining and nagging. I'm like, damn, you taking all my energy, shorty. Knock that shit off. You heard me? Like my stress ain't even my own. It's dealing with a woman. And I'm just trying to tell her like, hey, calm down, get it together. Cause I'm gonna have to have one of us gonna have to exit. You're gonna have to exit or I'm gonna have to exit. My life is very peaceful. And it's because it's a well-managed and well-ordered life. You feel something bothering you, gnawing at your peace, write it down. I have a list called current challenges. Some of the things on the list are more serious. Some are more petty. Like, for example, one of my current challenges is reviewing calendar daily, which is to say, sometimes I forget to look at my calendar, see what's on there. Might sound small and petty, but it's a necessary thing. You see, when I was running an international business with many offices, you have to see what all your meetings are. Oh man, I'm booked out. Now, if it's Sunday or Saturday, I might not even look at my calendar. It's Saturday. I'm not going to look at the calendar today.
You might not even know the day.
Right. So that is a challenge, reviewing my calendar daily. So I wrote that down. Boy, I got to fix that. That's not quite right. When you write things down, it makes it easier to deal with.
Bill Rood said, catching the live late, watching from the beginning. Marquett is in his bag today. Pay attention.
Man, talk to me. And the key is to try to be in your bag every day. Whatever you do, trying to be consistent with it and delivering that quality. And as a man, I want you guys to know that, you got to show out every time. And I'm also reminding myself of the same thing as I say this. You got to show out every time. You just never know when somebody brand new is showing up. You feel me? So make sure that you show up and show out every time. And that's one of the things I really respect about Corey. As I said, man, he get that workout in a serious way. I admire that. It is inspirational. This is a really important thing. As a man, you have to build up your tolerance for risk and also for not getting what you want. For risk, taking the risk of going after what you want and then enduring not getting it. And if you can master that little process, you will have the greatest of riches in the areas of wealth and the areas of women and all of the things that really matter in life, because you are being bold and you're not allowing falling short to make you fall down. And the reason I say that is because it turns out, for example, with women, there's only one thing worse than getting rejected. That's not getting rejected. And what I mean by that is when you get rejected by a woman, she's basically saying, no, this will not work. And then you're like, okay, great. I can go on to the next person, go on to the next woman. Just like what I told you with the solar panel. If I come and say, no, I'm not going to buy solar panel under any circumstance, you don't need to convince me. Let's go on to the house next door. Because what might happen, you might knock on the house next door and they say, oh, yeah, of course, we're environmentalists. We've been waiting for you to come by. You go ahead and write up a sale right there. But maybe you spent 10 minutes talking to me. The sun's went down. Now you go knock on the door next door and the sun's down. You're a stranger. They want to answer their door after the sun's went down. So being able to get that rejection, accept it, deal with it, and move on, that's a great skill for a successful man. And also seeking the rejection. Yeah, I'm seeking success first and foremost. But if you're not going to tell me yes, I need you to tell me no. What we won't do, we're not about to plan that gray area about maybe, whether it's a business deal or it's a female relationship, a romantic relationship. I need you to tell me yes or tell me no, but we ain't gonna be in this gray area. I'm not gonna hit you up and then you take 3 days to hit me back. We're not gonna play like that. You heard me? I'm gonna need you to get me out the way or let me know I'm winning. So pursue success, be able to accept if you don't succeed, and appreciate that process, whether you get what you want or you didn't get what you want. It's the resolution that you like, meaning you know where you stand. Just like Mr. Rogers told you, you're growing up the right way. As long as there's nothing funny going on, you're going to grow from a boy into a man. It is a natural progression. It is a natural progression. The only time that we don't achieve that progression, if there are strange things inhibiting our progress, an overbearing single mother, a slightly perverse leftist public education system, there's misprogramming that kind of cripples your development or poisons your mind. But it is indeed a natural progression that you will all go on. And so, never doubt the way you're progressing. You're generally doing a very good job. You're on track, so to speak. The most important thing that a man has to understand is that the direction of life should always be forward. Women from the past don't help the present or the future. Things from the past, people from the past, friends and family from the past don't help the present or the future. Just leave it where it is, which is to say that men don't get sentimental unnecessarily. We also don't live in what can never be. So we're not what ifers. The only time we what if is when we're thinking about greatness and we're pursuing greatness, you see. I might say to myself, what if the Saint in the Center has the biggest YouTube channel in the world? What if? And then I go out and try to make that real. But I would never say something like, what if Kevin Samuels was still alive? He's not. He's dead. Doesn't matter. Like, I would never waste time on, like, what if Kevin Samuels was alive? He dead. He ain't coming back. That's a total waste of time. That's a futile thought. Maybe his daughter or his mother or his girlfriend might think that, but his brother or his father should never think that. We should be able to say, I loved him. He's gone now. We moving forward. That's what it's like in war. Life is a war. You're the general, and it's a part of life, You should always expect challenges in the areas of loss of your loved ones, ill health, loss of your wealth. Now, these are all common things that are part of the human experience, and you should anticipate them. And when they come to you, you should not fall apart, because it is life. And in fact, it is what makes life exciting. In fact, when you find that a kid grew up wealthy, what do they want to do? They want to turn around and associate with the kids who grew up poor. When people have every advantage, then you find that for some reason, Paris Hilton, she's using cocaine. Why? Because she had all the things handed to her, and she's seeking variation in a life that has been pretty much a charmed life. So all these challenges will come. You should anticipate them and not fall apart. And you'd be a great man to take these challenges on with a smile. This is a really important piece of manhood, which is take a woman's input, which is to say, listen to her, hear her out, but do not be guided by a woman. I said, take a woman's input, listen to her, but do not be guided by a woman. Because if you are guided by her, meaning you are being led by a woman, you are likely being led to destruction. A lot of what they think is not necessarily for your best interests. It might not even be for their best interest in some cases. It is what their heart has told them. And the heart is not the best leader of anyone. The mind is the best leader. And I'll give you an example. There's a time I was dating a young lady, gorgeous girl, and I had a financial opportunity that took me out of the country. And she said, well, if you do that, then our relationship would have to end, because you've been living in so many different cities, and it's just hard to do the long distance thing. I said, I totally agree. Deuces, because, if I would have taken her advice, I would have stayed there in a small town and had a small life. But instead, I took the opportunity and created a big life and a big network, a global network of relationships, and really learned a lot of things and been exposed to opportunities that I could have never had otherwise. Had I taken her guidance, I'd be in a bad position. So I did the right thing. I took her input. I listened to her, but I didn't allow myself to be guided or led by her. And it's not that she was giving evil advice. She was just thinking with the heart. Her heart demanded that I be there and present. Ambition demanded that I go where the money was. And I can tell you that it was surely the right decision, not because money is important, but because to have unfulfilled dreams, or to think, what could I have been if, that is a feeling that gnaws at the soul. You must always try your luck. You always have to see what you can do. Turn that card over, see what your fate could have been. Don't be scared, and don't live small. That's a lesson your father should have taught you right there. And sometimes we think, if we grew up with our father, we know everything we need to know about being a man. Well, that's unlikely. How many of you, your father's a great man? Not all of us. Having a father present is a great gift, but sometimes your father's not necessarily the man you want him to be. this goes for the males and the females. I know a lot of women who speak very poorly of their fathers. It hurts my heart because I know that they're going to have a lot of trouble in their romantic relationships. I'm thinking of one young lady in particular has so much bad to say about her father. You would think he ran out on her. You would think maybe he used to beat her and the mother. It's not the case. It's just that she had the wrong expectations for how a father operates within a family. You see, today, because of this equality rhetoric, which is sameness ideology disguised, we think that the mother and the father should be the same, which is not true. A mother spends a significant amount of time more with the child, especially when the child is young. This is biologically required, as the mother has the source of the child's food in her very bosom. The kid has to nurse from the mother's breast, whereas the father does not have to be so proximate all the time. And historically, there has been the understanding that the father must go out and earn. The mother can stay with the child and nurse the child. Today, there's the idea in this sick society, which has been reorganized by feminists and weak beta males. They have maternity leave for the women because they have to nurse. Now they have paternity leave, as though like dudes need to be at home spending all that time. So they're creating an expectation that the father be present at the same level. It's just not necessary. But you have kids coming up thinking that, the way their mother dotes on them and the way their mother is ever present and like a helicopter mom, they expect their dad to operate at the same level and display the same emotions. And when he doesn't, which makes sense because he's a man, then they feel disappointment because their expectations were not met. One of the greatest opportunities you have in being born a man, and this is really a privilege, is that you can always utilize your intelligence if you are emotionally trained, which is to say that when you have a woman of a certain intelligence and a man of the same level of intelligence, you piss both of them off, the woman might completely fall apart. You feel me? And she's going to fall apart at the level to where an intelligent woman can become belligerent and completely hysterical. Whereas an intelligent man should be able to maintain his intelligence and continue to think under pressure, under stress. That is what the man should be conditioning his mind for. And the nicest thing about the society we live in today is that there are minimal stressors in the developed world. You don't have to worry about an animal coming out of the shrubbery and the trees and ripping you apart. You don't have to worry about, civil war in most of your countries. You live a safe, easy life. What is stressful about the lives you live? You're not in Ukraine right now worried about being bombed. You're not in the third world wondering where you're going to get your next meal or which warlord is going to come and ravish your home and take the women away. You're not in certain states in Southeast Africa or in the Middle East where there's unexpected terrorist attacks. So it's like, what is stressing you so much? The key is to get control of your mind. The greatest mark of a successful man is happiness and peace. And those are all things that have nothing to do with the outside world, nothing to do with money, all to do with how you control your mind. I often ask myself two questions as a man. Number one, was that worth my time? Whatever it was, if it was an argument, if it was a discussion, if it was a leisure experience, was that worth my time? Also, could someone else have done that? Let me tell you how I applied this question. Could someone else have done that? This is really important. When I was in poverty, I very much so had an unpleasant relationship with the police for a lot of reasons, which I won't go into at this time. I viewed the police with enmity. Now that I'm well off, security, police, and folks like this, I now realize they're here to protect people like me, the propertied class. So if I ever get into a situation and I can leverage the security or the police to fight the battle for me, send them out there to do it. Let them deal with it. So if I'm in a situation, say at the boxing match or the MMA match last weekend, and say there was like some dim-witted fool who wanted to cause an issue, rather than me slap their helmet off, I'd be much wiser to call the police. Like, hey, this guy's bothering me. Can you get him out of here? Call the security. Hey, can you get him out of here? They look, oh, you got the VIP wristband. Yeah. Excuse me, sir. You're gonna have to leave this section. Yeah, I'm gonna let them fight that battle for me. I learned how to operate like a boss. Can I have someone else do it? Strategy. Another thing with mindset is you should always be asking yourself, whatever I want or whatever I want to do, how can I do it today? Like without delay. And what one step forward can I do now? So if your big goal is, hey, I want to move to fill in the blank country. Okay. Maybe I can't pack up and move today, but if I could, I should start packing right now and move today if I can. But if I cannot, what's the one thing I can do today? Maybe it's to go online and start looking at the cost of apartments in that city. I might not be able to buy them now, but then I'll have a clear sense of how much money I need per month. So what's the one thing I can do today that's necessary to get me the full mile? And it's always like, what can I do now? And then go through all of those steps until you get to the one that you get stuck on. And then think about how you can get through that next one. But the greatest question you can have in life is, what can I do now? Let's not talk about it. Let's be about it. What can I do now? Not what can I talk about now? Not what can we think about? What can I do now? I'm always trying to maximize, maximize how much, pull the most juice out of a given situation or experience. And during this short break, while you get your thoughts, questions, comments together or your tuition, I'm going to go ahead and play you this ultra terrible music video, but you can get the song on Spotify. It's a great song. I think it's one of my better songs here. Dear Saint, I sent you a message yesterday evening. You probably ain't see it, but if you ever read it, that would mean so much to me. I ain't asking for nothing for free, but do you know how proud I would be if you gave a shout out to me? I would never forget, and I'ma send a super chat as soon as I get out of debt. I wanna be like you one day. I know it's far-fetched. I got a son on the way. You know what I'ma call him? I'ma call him Marquett. Just like the saint and the sinner. These losers always hating the winners. You make me feel alive with pride, but when your podcast end, I'm high and dry and still dead inside. Living life in a haze, red pill rage. I was a dummy. One time almost killed a chick cause she ain't want me. You the illest thing after ether, classic leader, master teacher. You taught me to master my mind. I know you probably hear this all the time, but I'm your biggest fan. You made me a man. It's a man what you see here. You was my dad when my dad couldn't be there. Taught me to prepare cause life wouldn't be fair. I follow your vision and wisdom. I'm living the ism. I'm even in boxing competitions and I started a tech company. Well, a tech position. It's a 9 to 5, but listen, I watch your old stuff and even your new. I even started a podcast too. Guess what it's about? You. I'm your biggest fan. Truly yours, Drew. Dear Saint, you ain't hit me back, like you ain't get my chat. I ain't mad, I just think it's fucked up you don't answer fans. If you ain't wanna do a YouTube collab, you ain't have to. But you could've answered the questions that I asked you. See, everything you say is real, and I love you cause you tell it. My therapist says I'm mentally ill, but you help it. I love your knowledge, but I hate that you sell it. And I hate that you won't reply to me. Won't you respond to me? I wish I looked like you. Dear Mister, I'm too good to respond or shout out my fans. This is the last live I ever make about your ass. It's been 6 hours and still no word. That's what I deserve. You got some nerve, Mr. Sinner. I needed you right now. You can watch me take my life right now while I'm on this live right now. No, Mom, I won't pipe down. And I don't care how many girls you pipe down. You know that song about Eminem, about that guy who loved him, but he didn't appreciate it? I used to love when you say, get it. Now I hate it. Shut up, Mom, I'm live right now. I'm also high right now, and I want to die right now. You say be good to good people, but you weren't good to me, that's evil. You're unbelievably phony, how do people believe in you? I wish I had hands like Wolverine to reach you and reach through your stomach till it's see-through and beat you and eat you and leave you scavenged by a vulture or an eagle with beetles crawling through your carcass, you heartless son of a bitch. I hate you. I love you.
Mr. Boss and they'll be healthy.
Dig. When the love turned to hate, the love was never pure, and you were never a saint. I got a taste of what fame is, now that my name is in the mouth of every YouTuber that's nameless. But the supervillain is here to vanquish. When I bang this, my aim is aimed at where your brain is. I see that jealousy is dangerous. You like that nigga that killed Nipsey Hussle. You gently suckle from your mom's breast. You still live at home in your trash ass podcast. Never had a female on the microphone. Explain that, Holmes. You the type of guy to die alone. Let me tell something to ya. You Hasbula, living like a kid, but you supposed to be grown. Peace to the saints, death to the fakes. You on my nuts in this cop. I'll walk up and slap the shit out you, and you will do nothing. Chris Rock, little buddy the size of my bitch. And with the iron fist, I crush every bone known to scientists. The big homie. Shout out to the haters. Look, haters, all I do is make content and jokes out of you. Oh, man, I love it. Life is good. Life is good. And if you like that track, you can get it on all streaming services, Spotify, get it on Apple Music, wherever you stream music, you'll find it there. Just type in the Saint in the center. That album that one is on is called In Real Life. As a man, your foci means more than one focus. Your foci should be truth, family, wealth. It has to go in that order. Truth meaning know what's real, understand yourself, understand the world. Truth, have knowledge. Family, have people that you trust who are close to you, who you can rely on. Those are the people, that's the economic firm that's going to help you build your wealth. You have to have collaborators. Truth, understand what's going on, have knowledge you can apply. Family, give that knowledge to your family, have them work with you and for you to build. Wealth is the outcome of all of it. Wealth in the areas of good health, wealth in the areas of financial capital, wealth in the areas of many relationships. Truth, family, wealth. If you can teach that to those around you, you will be prosperous. If you can live it out, you'll be in much better shape. And it is in that order. Truth, get your mind together. Family, get your relationships around you together. Wealth, it all culminates in the accumulation of that. Well, saints, it has been a pleasure to have this time to fellowship with you. Just talking through the facts of being a real man, not a pretend man, not an internet man, but a man in real life, a man of nobility, a man with good habits, a man who's leaving a positive impact on those around him and his family and as well on the society. Being a saint, a saintly man. Let us end this with our tradition, which is the creed of the assassin. Repeat after me with full conviction, knowing this is true of you. The creed of the assassin. I'm going to be who I truly am because I am remarkable, and I'm going to strive every moment to show the greatest part of who I am. Until next time, peace to the saints.